When I first got into real estate about 20 years ago, I was working real hard. I didn't really get far, as I shared so many times in these videos. Right around 2010, I had a moment where I made a decision that was going to be the last of that, and I was going to go all in. And when I did that, I remember buying a bunch of suits, and probably 3 or 4. That's all I could afford. I had a black one, a blue one, and I think a striped blue one. And I would just rotate those around and, change out the shirts and the ties because I didn't want anybody to know that I was wearing the same suit over and over again. And I actually got holes in the pockets, and I'd still wear them anyway. Wore the heck out of those suits. I realized, though, later on that I'm not a suit guy. I'm wearing a t-shirt, I'm more of a t-shirt guy than I am a suit guy. In fact, even now, people say they wear suits at funerals and in weddings. I think that does pretty much define me. I'm just happier. I'm more flexible. I'm who I am. There was a photo up on a website yesterday that's been up there for a while of me giving a speech with a suit on. And I called my web guy and I said, "Hey, can you change that? Can you change that shit? That's bugging the hell out of me." And the reason is because it's just not my authentic me. It's just not who I am. I have far more suits now. They're all hanging in my closet. So why am I sharing this with you today? Because I want to talk about the law of authenticity. There's a wonderful book written by Bob Burg. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you do. The title is The Go-Giver. And of course, there's lessons in this book. It's told in parable form. And one of the chapters that stood out to me was the law of authenticity. It's so powerful. It's so real. So if this is something that resonates with you, it really struck me. So pick up the book if you haven't read it yet. The Go-Giver by Bob Burg, and the chapter is the law of authenticity. It's one of the laws he describes as the law of stratospheric success. This is one of them. Last year, when COVID-19 hit, we were all working from home, and I really went in deep into my coaching business, doing videos, sharing, spending more time in the content, coaching more clients that really, really, really resonated with what I'm sharing and also were benefiting. I saw drastic, massive change. I was having an impact. And the reason why is because I was authentic to who I was. I was doing the thing that I'm supposed to do. Just like we all have that seed inside of us, we know if we're doing what we're supposed to do and living authentically. That's what I was doing last year. I remember my real estate team at the time, I was overdoing this and pretty much letting the business run by my COO. And, what I sensed was that this wasn't resonating with them, what I was up to. And I would even try to share this with them, and it just really fell on deaf ears. And that's okay. It really is. What's not okay, though, this is the part that's not okay, is I let that influence how I showed up in the world. I stopped sharing. I stopped doing this. I stopped, picking up coaching clients because there were so many negative voices saying, what are you doing? Like, what's that all about? Is this really helping? And all that negative chatter. So I shut it down and I stopped doing it. And then I realized, what the heck is that about? This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm happiest when I'm sharing. I'm happiest when I'm coaching and teaching and mentoring. So I'm here to tell you today to find that authentic thing that you're supposed to be doing and do that. And shut down the voices. Don't let the naysayers, because there's always going to be freaking naysayers everywhere you go. You be you. In the book, there's a woman who gives a story about her experience in real estate. Of course, this resonated with me. She said that she got into real estate. Now, this is a parable, so they're telling a story, but this is a powerful story. She said she got into real estate and she was failing out. And she needed to do this because she was the sole provider for her children because her husband left her. So she was left, she was divorced, she had children at home, and she needed to do real estate because she needed to, of course, pay the bills. Well, anyway, a year into it, she said, I'm failing out, and she went to the office to clear out her desk and just, call it quits. She said she learned all the scripts, the closes, and she lists like 30 closes that she had, and all this technique and sales strategy, all that, still wasn't working for her. She went to the office to clean her desk out, and she picked up the phone because it rang. And on the other end of the phone was a woman who said she wanted to see a house. She said, well, fine, you know what, that's fine. I'll show you the house. She hasn't sold the house. She hadn't sold the home yet. She's like, what do I have to lose? It's my last day, right? So she said she went there to show the home, unscripted, just drove there, had no idea about the property, had no information whatsoever. She was all disheveled. I think she was wearing sweatpants, a hot mess, right? Got there and was just herself. Just talked, was completely herself. And the result of that was, which is just amazing, she sold the house. And then she sold another one. And then she sold another one. Then she was top in her office. And then she was top in the city. And then she was #1 real. Now she's nationally speaking on stages. So that's what I'm talking about. That's amazing. That's exactly right. She was herself. She let go of the script. She dropped the freaking script. And she just showed up as herself. Yeah, that's it. An agent from my office about 2 weeks ago. He's a brand new guy, really awesome guy. Has turned into a friend as well. He had a guy, an old man, hang up on him on the phone. You know, he answered the phone. He did this whole script, followed the script that we teach, and he got hung up on. And he didn't like that too much. And so what he did is he called the guy back, dropped the script, and just had a conversation with him. Just asked him about him. Hey, what's important? You know, how can I help you? And that resulted in a showing. You know, after a real conversation. So that's an example. He was just himself. Because, you know, when we learn how to ask great questions and be present and show people that we care and, you know, make people feel good about themselves, that's where it's at. When we're living into what we're supposed to do, our purpose here, and we shut down the naysayers and we wear whatever the hell we want to wear, and do what we want to do, when we want to do, how we want to do it. That's authenticity. Being ourselves. You know, in the book it says that the most valuable gift we have to offer is ourselves. And so I love that. And I hope this is resonating with you. I was listening to a song this morning from Brothers Osborne, and it's I'm good for some but not for everyone. And I just love this song because he's singing about him. He says, I'm a bad joke at the wrong time. I'm a legend in my own mind. If I was a sweet tea, I'd be a bit bitter. If I was a church, I'd be hanging with the sinners talking about Hendrix in heaven. But what he's talking about is authenticity. He's being him. And he's not for everyone. I'm good for some, but not for everyone. Hope this is resonating with you today. If you want to know more about being authentic and living into your authentic self and your life purpose, there's a link here in this video, and I do a training on this. It's one of the things that I'm the most passionate about, and hopefully this is resonating with you. Let me know how you found this video. Was it live or was it later? So just type in pound later or pound live, and remember, and that's the reason why I talk about the square of life, the divine design, which is living with authenticity, who you really are, showing up as you. Joy, which is our natural state, joy and wellness. Freedom, time and money freedom is what we're all seeking. Time and money freedom, the ability to do what we want, when we want, how we want, with whom we want, for as long as we freaking want, with zero restrictions. And finally, growth and expansion. Spirit is for expansion and fuller expression. What that means is that God force, spirit, whatever you want to call that higher power, wants us to do the thing and have us run faster and climb the mountain. And if you're in sales, sell more. Expansion and fuller expression. Hopefully this has served you today. Live your square of life. Show up authentically, and I'll catch you real soon.